Hello and welcome to Roadrunner Predictions. Today we're going to go a little bit over some football and, of course, basketball. I've been doing pretty good here. I went 2-0 on XFL yesterday. I did not do a pick video for it, but I have proof in the betting numbers. But that actually puts me only tied. I went 4-0 in the last XFL pick, so I'm actually 0-4, then 4-0. So I still have ground to cover to be positive on it, but I just want to be full disclosure and not lead anyone in the wrong direction by, acting like I'm professional on it, But I tell you what, I actually do go over a lot of tape, a lot of individuals, and I've watched all the games in highlight rooms, even over a few times. So I think most of the pickers in the XFL aren't really doing their due diligence on it, but they can't even say the team's name right half the time. So I don't know. I think I'm starting to line locks on it. So let's go into CU versus St. John's. That's going to be the first game. I'm taking CU -5. It went to 5.5, then back down to 5. I kind of was leaning a little bit towards St. John's Red Storm, but I just listened to the interview on Bullock this Thursday, and he was talking about how they decided to turn things around after beating Villanova, and then the next day, Kansas City Chiefs ended up winning the Super Bowl, and him and a couple other members on the Creighton Blue Jays are from Kansas, so they really that was pretty inspirational to them. And they said that they're helping riding that momentum. They're kind of using that as a ticker, and they're sitting in the hotel room, and they're like, "Why not us? Why can't we beat the Villanovas?" And I mean, they just did, but they're like, "Why can't we run off and win the games?" And then they said they're going to allow themselves one loss, and they've already allowed themselves that one loss, but have won every single game since then. And they've been doing pretty good against the spreads. They're just really focused, and McDermott, Greg McDermott, does such a good job at keeping his teammates lined up. Like I said, usually they just lose in the tournament because of lack of talent, not because of them doing anything different or falling short. But this year's a little different. They're definitely a stronger team. This is the best Creighton team I've ever seen, even with Kyle Korver there and Doug McDermott there. Just so you guys know, puts a little perspective on it. But I'm taking Creighton -5. The last previous matchup, they won 94-82, and usually I like to switch on the end, especially if the home team is getting the home advantage, which isn't going to be too much of an advantage. St. John's isn't 100% pumped on it. They're 14-14. Creighton's 22-6. Last matchup, they shot 60% in field goal, which is insane. Usually I like to hedge that and say, hey, there's room on the other end, but St. John's actually shot average. They shot 36 at 3-point and 42% in the field goal. I don't know. I just think even if Creighton plays 10% less, they walk away with 8 points. That's what I got. I think it's going to be a tough game. It's still going to be locked and loaded. I have Blue Jays winning by 8, so I'll take the 5. Nebraska is taking on Northwestern. This is the dumpster fire of the Big Ten, and Northwestern usually I'm pretty high on. I kind of like the basketball program, and I respect their football program. They used to have this semi-good 3 talent and boxed up in the goalposts, and you're not seeing that this year, really from the last. But I like I like Nebraska getting home advantage over this dumpster fire. They want to win. People are still showing up. They're still excited to show improvement. They know their season's done, but they want to end it on the good note to get things going in for the next year. Virginia Tech catching 12 points at Louisville. I know everyone's up on Louisville. I know they played great. I actually had Florida State on that last matchup when these two met, but I'm glad I watched that game because I didn't know ACC was actually that talented in basketball. I know that. I know their basketball conference, but I mean this year I thought they were kind of slipping. It just media kind of perceived it that way with Duke getting slipped up and tripped up, but they're pretty legit, and they only have 5 or 6 going into the tournament. I don't know. We'll find out, and Big Ten will be exposed here pretty quick. That's my opinion. In the tournament, of course. You get more teams in there, of course, you have a chance to go further, but Big Ten's going to get tripped up. Big 12's pretty good. KU and Kansas is ranked number 1 now, and deservedly so. Baylor slipped up. Baylor is also going to be a tough team, and I expect them to go pretty far in the tournament. Those two teams are really legit in that. Everywhere else in there, not feeling too hot. Let's go I like Virginia Tech getting 12 points. I think Louisville's just on hype. I think this is a bad correction. I think you're getting advantage on it. Yeah, Louisville might win by 15, 20, but I have them winning by 10. Let's go into some XFL. Like I said, 2-0 yesterday, but I actually didn't make a video on it, but I do have the betting proof. I can show you my receipts. I actually killed it yesterday, 359. I kind of been a little absent. I'm doing a lot of homework right now, but I'm not trying to make excuses. Let's go ahead. I've been actually doing video game bets with League of Legends and Overwatch and Dota 2, and I just know there's not much of a market for that, so I'm not going to bore you guys with that detail, but I was a semi-professional gamer myself, so I actually went to competed in major tournaments, and there's a very competitive market. Is the StarCraft world is where I came up from. Let me go ahead and get into this game. Houston Roughnecks facing a very stout Dallas Renegades team. Houston Roughnecks are favored by 3. I think this is the best bet here. It was crazy how Tampa Bay Vipers opened up. I've been bigger on them, and they just got 0-3, and it's like, oh wow, they really actually kind of suck. And I'm actually gonna go against them again. But that's in the next game analysis. Houston Roughnecks, I think, are the best team. I'm just going to leave it the best team. They're staying focused. They were able to get things done on offense, in which a lot of teams, if a team is being able to do things on offense, it already makes them pretty valuable in this XFL team, because let's be honest, that's where they're struggling the most. And Dallas has been able to do the same. So if you were to take Dallas in the 3 points at home, that's actually a good bet. I don't think Dallas is buying into the XFL like some of these other teams are. But if their team keeps winning, that would help. They could serve Houston Roughnecks their first loss, but I don't think so. I think Houston's going to do just fine. I think they win by 6. So I'm going Houston. Let's go DC Defenders. The second best team, in my opinion, getting tripped up against a not-so-good Wildcats team. Who called that game? I did. Not to gloat, but I also had the Guardians. I knew they'd get things. You could take Guardians at home, just on the road, the loud noise. I said that in my last video. I knew St. Louis have the best at-home advantage, and the Guardians can't get over that environment. So don't take them on the road, unless they're getting like a mass amount of points. It's just not worth it. DC Defenders got stopped, but it's really themselves. They beat themselves, and I look for them to adjust things and get things back rolling again against this not-so-good Tampa Bay defense. I think DC could actually win pretty big here. I'm actually laying on DC. I just can't believe the spread on it. It was like 3.5, or now it's 4. What a joke. That's going to be my biggest bet today, is DC Defenders coming out to clean the Tampa Bay Vipers up. Vipers are at home. It'll be a little more exciting for them. They have an okay crowd there. They're probably the third to the bottom. So they're not quite in that tougher at home to play at. So I'm going to go with DC Defenders catching the rhythm back, serving up this Tampa Bay Vipers their third loss. Thank you for watching. Their fourth loss. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. If you guys disagree, go ahead and let me know down below. I'm interested in hear what you have to say. Thank you.